Hello, fellow music nuts. It's me, Cubby, with another personal spin, and today I'm ranking Metallica's discography. A quick note, I haven't included Lulu because, according to my research, it's not considered one of their studio albums, and I'm only ranking the studio albums. So, without further ado, I shall begin. First up, we have Saint Anger. This generally seems to be everyone's least favourite album. However, it's not that it's terrible, aside from the drum, the snare drum. I think quite a few of the songs are actually quite good. They're just underdeveloped, overly long, and repetitive. Practically every song is somewhere within the 6 to 7 minute mark. And once you get to sort of 4 minutes, it's basically just repeating the same stuff over and over again, and it's just unnecessary and inane, and it makes it stupidly long at like 74 minutes. There's no guitar solos, there's no like middle eights or anything. Each song basically goes verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, rocky out bit, verse, chorus, 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 the end, or along those lines anyway. That said, there are moments of really cool stuff like Shoot Me Again, with its basically think of Shoot Me Again, I ain't dead yet. Do, and Frantic's good song. Again, every song is way too long. Some Kind of Monster's alright. Saint Anger itself is quite good. Invisible Kid's pretty fun. So yeah, overall it's not a bad album, but it's definitely their worst, I think anyway. Onwards. Next up we have Death Magnetic. I like this album. It's kind of a return to form, really. The biggest issue for me is the production, which is just overly compressed and really, really, really horrible. But the songs are really good, particularly Cyanide. Yes, I have ranked this lower than Reload and Load. I think the biggest problem with most Metallica albums post the original sort of thrashy 4 or 5 is they're all just way too long. They let their ego get the better of them, and they're releasing like albums that are like 70 plus minutes long, and they're just too long. However, there is a caveat to that. But there we go. It's a good album, but I don't like the production. It's terrible. Next we have Reload and Load. Wait, I think I put these in the wrong order. No, I didn't. There are some very good songs on these, whether you think they're good or not, or sellout albums or whatever. It sees the band sort of picking up the groove metal thing that was out in 1997 and that sort of time period. Again, though, I think the biggest issue is they're just way too long. They like when you buy them, they've got the sticker going 74 minutes of brand new music, and you're like, oh god, why can't it be 40? Much better. I could take about on the back. You got one list and second list of the songs. I could pretty much take out the second half, and the album would be killer. Because by the time you get to the second row of songs, you're kind of switching off. It's just like way too long. It's just become like an ego trip, and unfortunately lets these albums down a lot. I think that's the biggest problem, because the actual songs are pretty good, and maybe missing out the country-ish ones as well. They're a bit sort of naff. Then we have Reload, which is ever so slightly better, but again way too long. And it has Unforgiven 2 on it, which is terrible. I reckon they probably could have taken the first half of this album and the first half of this album, stuck them together, and they would have had a great album. And it still would have been 70 plus minutes long, but it would have been a killer album. So, yeah, it's not their best moment, but not their worst either. Next up, we have Kill 'Em All, their debut album. It's really, really cool, really thrashy, really raw. But it still kind of sounds a bit, what's the word? Not unfinished, but I mean, half the songs are written by Mustaine anyway, but ooh, it's controversial. Sorry, I shouldn't say things like that. I don't know. I just prefer some of their later albums. They've got the riffs and they've got Cliff Burton playing bass on it, but I don't know. Hit the Lights is pretty good, and the Four Horsemen, and Jump in the Fire, and Anesthesia is pretty good. Seek and Destroy, they're all pretty good, but it's just not my favorite album. It's not varied enough, really. It's not got the immediacy of Slayer's Rain and Blood album, and or the attitude of Peace Cells, which aren't the debut albums of either of those bands, but they're kind of not really the equivalent. I don't know what I'm saying now. It's just not my favourite. There you go. How's that? Next up, we have the Black Album. I really like this. The production's good. The songs are good. A little bit too long still. Metallica do like writing really long albums. They don't know how to edit properly, really. They tend to just put everything they've written on one CD at the time. That said, I do like it, and it was actually the second Metallica album I ever heard. And it's not bad. It's not bad. Next, we come to their newest album, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I love this, and this is the caveat on being too long. Despite probably being their longest album, I think, at 80 plus minutes, and being a double disc, it sounds like one of the discs is loose. I really like it. Basically every song has somehow managed to get stuck in my head, which is unusual. And I really like it. I think it's a really good return to form. It's got kind of the groove of and the production of the Black Album, but the riffs of their earlier albums kind of thing. It is good. I like it. Next up, we have Master of Puppets. I really like this. The equivalent albums from Megadeth are Peace Cells and Slayer, It's Raining Blood. I suppose that's the one I should talk about, really. Out of those three, this is my least favourite. Actually, it's probably my second favourite. Megadeth's. I used to really love that album, but I don't know, it's gone down in my rankings over the years. This, however, is pretty good. Master of Puppets is played all the time, obviously. It's a good song. I have heard it way too many times, though. But the rest of the album's good. And, of course, it's got Cliff Burton playing bass on it. So, you know, it's good. Love it. Right, my top two are interesting because I actually like the songs on this one more. But, obviously, the production is fucking terrible. It's so bad, and they should definitely re-record it. I heard a person on YouTube who added their own bass to it, and it sounded so much better. And if that version was the version that was available on CD, this would be my top favourite album. But because of that, it's not. In fact, I could probably put it down below Master of Puppets and Hardwired to Self-Destruct, but I just love the songs. This was the first album of theirs that I got as well. And I just love it, but I hate the production, so I don't listen to it very often. Yeah, I also bought it on vinyl when they remastered it last year or whatever it was they did. I don't know why really, because I should have just got the CD because it sounds pretty much the same. It's a bit bassier, but I mean, who wants like booming bass drums? Anyway, and so my favourite album is Ride the Lightning, or at least this time round anyway. Don't forget, all my rankings are fluid and interchangeable. Oh dear, we've got some sort of light showing. So yeah, this is a great album. It's got the Call of Cthulhu, Creeping Death, Fade to Black, For Whom the Bell Tolls, another song that's really good. Not quite as overplayed as Master of Puppets, but fairly close. Ride the Lightning and Fight Fire with Fire. It's a great album. And unfortunately, no, it wasn't their last with Cliff Burton. I got it's their second to last with Cliff Burton, unfortunately. But it's really good, and I like the album cover as well. It's got an electric chair. So there we go. That is my Metallica ranking. Please comment on the order that you would rank Metallica's discography. Obviously, this is just my personal opinion and how I prefer to rank them in terms of least favourite to favourite. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. I will review all of these albums further on in time, as time goes on, and hopefully you'll enjoy those as well if you like my videos. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.